Okay, I just wanted to make another one of these videos. I noticed that there's something going on with me in regards to some sort of cultural identity or whatever. Um, it's a little weird. What I'm trying to say is that I think with you have different ethnicities or whatever, those groups they they group together, right? And I don't think that this what's weird about this though is I don't know if this is exclusively uh to do with me. I see maybe this happening to other people, and it gives their life like I think that's probably what stratifies the um, those those people or whatever. Those people's lives, like it seems like their life they just go into like depression or something because there's like only in like nation states or something in the world. I'm thinking that I'm thinking that's like the only thing I can come up with about why something is a certain way. Um Here's the thing though. Is it is it with what I'm trying to tell you is that like with Koreans or like Chinese or any group of people, there's usually there's when you fit into the like if you're Korean or something, you fit into that Korean group, right? You group with other Koreans, right? If you are Chinese, you fit into a Chinese group. If you're black, you fit into a black group. You have an identity of being black, right? You know listen to rap music, whatever it is. You black music. You're interested in black women. You get the idea. Like you're culturally a part of um, that group or whatever. But with me or whatever, it seems like um, well, first off, I think that there's like this thing uh, where I'm not considered there like this there's this idea that whether you're black or Chinese or whatever you are, you're American. And I guess you could say that, but why, if you're American, then why don't you see? I don't, if you have to ask me, there's probably more mixing with your own ethnic group than the idea of mixing with Americans. Like, there's no question. Because I go visit, like, I'll give you a prime example. I noticed that whether you're talking about white groups or whether you're talking about non-white groups, is that you go down to um, like Albany, right? And there'll be a Chinese food, not Chinese food, but a Chinese Asian market, right? But it's Chinese owned, right? And then you'll notice that all the other Asian people are in that market, right? You go to some place like a chicken and waffles place in Albany or something, and you'll notice that the it's all black, right? The whole neighborhood's black. The people who go in, they buy from the business, whatever, they're black. Or some like Jamaican jerk chicken place, same thing. Like everybody, almost everybody that goes in there is black, right? So there is cultural identities associated with um, like culture in um, or ethnic identities associated with cultural identity in these areas. Even white, you have like a Ukrainian group or whatever. Um, Whether you're talking about white or black, the distinct characteristic that I find, if you have to ask me, is the idea that these people don't want to let go of their their culture. Okay, they don't want to become Americanized, like English language sort of a thing. You might even I'm not familiar with the one of the I'm familiar with one of the I think well, I'm sort of familiar with the. Yeah, I think that they don't want to let go of their culture or whatever. So they're rejecting American culture, right? And they're embracing their own ethnicity, their own cultural identity or whatever. And they're saying, okay, I don't want that other crap or whatever, because it's like it's not a thing, or some whatever. I don't know what the idea is. Now you might be like, oh well, it's what it's about is it's about mixing together whatever. That's what makes us American or whatever. Yeah, but here's the thing: if all those Chinese people or whoever else, whether it's Ukrainian or whatever it is, if they always just stick to their own group, then they never become American. They just exist. And you can apply this, if you have to ask me, to the idea of, what is it? The idea of like anyone becoming American. I think, if you have to ask me, what makes a person more American than another person is some sort of an idea that was born in this country. I mean, like, no question, some original idea that was born in this country, that's what makes you the idea of that you're more American than someone else is that, like, there's dude, trust me when I tell you, I've thought about this, and like, if you have ideas from Europe or like anywhere else and you've brought those ideas here, that's different than an idea that was made in the United States. Okay, so what's funny about me, right, is that I think the way these Europeans look at me is they go, he's not Italian, or like whatever the fuck it is, right? He's not Italian, so he's not American or whatever, right? They go, oh, he's not Italian, so he's not American, or he's not Ukrainian, so he's not American. But none of these things are American. Okay? But I thought about that. I'm like, what would make you more American than other people? And I said to myself, it's gotta be the idea that the idea you had some idea that you made here. Okay? And somebody be like, well, what are you trying to tell me? That, like, even though I am like 6th generation English, I was raised in this country, you're telling me because you have some bullshit idea, you think that you're more American than I am? Yeah, in a way, because like, basically whatever you thought about, whether you're Jamaican or you're English or you're Irish or whatever the fuck it is, a lot of the shit that you you're doing or whatever in your life, you brought over here from a different country, and it's not unique to this country. Okay? If somebody has an idea that's unique to this country, like, I don't want to like cause and like, this is, dude, like, it could be anything from like PayPal or whatever to like, any dumb little thing that like nobody cares about or whatever. But what I'm trying to tell you is that I think that these types of ideas or whatever they are, like, if the idea was born in this country, that to me is the idea that you're more American potentially than if you just take an idea from another country and you plant it into this country. It doesn't. There's nothing uniquely American about the idea, whatever. So I don't know. I just wanted to say that, but I got off track. I wanted to say those two things. I wanted to say that, and also the idea that it seems like everybody has. If you have to ask me, everybody is part. The reason why somebody picks on me, right? I wanted to say this too because this. I think this is important or whatever. I wanted to say these. I wanted to say that thing I said before. Now this is that there is nothing. I'm 50% of something and 50% of something else, right? So a lot of the ways that people look at me is they go, he's not one thing. He has no identity, right? They don't look at me like I'm American. They go, he has no identity. He doesn't belong to anyone. So you can do what, like anybody from any nation state can do whatever the fuck they want to him, and it doesn't matter, whatever, because nobody's going to defend him. I think that's how, if you have to ask me, why I find myself 100% of why I find myself in my predicament is because with any other group of people, you could be talking about like New Zealanders or some shit, right? Is that they have a large group of people willing to defend whatever it is they stand for. I mean, even if you have a large group of people that don't even own firearms, you're still getting in the idea that like they can create fire and like whatever. It's the idea that the justice system isn't the one who takes out some sort of, they don't defend, the government doesn't defend that person. The ethnicity of that person defends that person. So like you're talking about Ukrainians, right? If somebody fucks with a Ukrainian, like a Ukrainian gets cancer or something, right? Like somebody else is gonna get murdered. Same shit with like any other ethnic group or whatever, right? Basically, you fuck with, because I'm not part of that, like that same paradigm or whatever, they go, we can do whatever the fuck we want to this guy because he's not American, he's not Polish, he's not Irish, he's just like a dandelion spore that just floats in the air or whatever. But dude, the idea that I'm not American, if you have to ask me, I mean, I think you can make an argument that I'm more American than a lot of the people who live in America. Whether you're talking about like Jamaicans or Ukrainians or Chinese people or Koreans or whoever else it is, and like somebody be like, fuck you, you're a loser, whatever. Like that's what the response is probably going to be. But I mean, at least that's the way I'm looking at it. Because dude, if you don't have original ideas, what makes you unique? I don't think you are. What it makes you like identifiable or whatever, as something different or whatever? It's like nothing. It's ridiculous.